Thank you. So I am very pleased to be here with you today, and I will give some insights about France and about the future of Edtech. As you know, there is a French touch, and not just in music, in Edtech too. To quote David Guetta. So. In Edtech, the market is very mature, in constant growth, and very innovative. So let me speak about it. Just me, myself, and I for my presentation. So I am Luc Piaton, a former liberal physiotherapist, specialized in neuropediatrics. Unfortunately, I had a disability, so I have to change my career path, and I became a digital pedagogical engineer. And I'm, of course, passionate by the brain and the learning, and I am member of Edtech France and member of the board of directors of Edtech Grand Ouest, which is the west side of Edtech Association. And of course, I am an author in the Global Edtech, and very pleased to be in the team. Just to start with my company, what is HAPPEE Learning? It's a startup created in 2019 in Brittany, in the west side of France, called, as I can say, Golden Nugget by EduValley, an investment fund in France. So we are guiding company in digital transformation in their learning path. We're creating digital learning materials enhanced by neurocognitive science leverages. So just let me begin with an icebreaker to be more light, to be lighter, sorry. You can play in the chat which animal is it regarding to the eyes of the extreme zoom. So this first animal, which is it? Yes, it's an owl. This one, go in the chat, right? It's not a deer, it's a rabbit, small rabbit. This one is very easy. It's a, right, it's a crocodile. This one is not a dragon. This one is an iguana. And this one, we have to have a very fierce and very, it's an oak or a falcon. So in fact, we have to have a very precise look at the French Edtech secret. So to have an overview, I try to speak from France about the COVID. So the virus has won the first round, but France is not chaos in this chaos. It is not chaos in this chaos. Sorry. So we had a 1.5 lockdown. I said 1.5 because the second one was lighter. So it's kind of half a lockdown. So let's start with what's happening all over the world and especially in France. So, of course, you know, there is many bankruptcies and company in difficulty, even in the Edtech sector. And we are witnessing an explosion of teleworking. And we have an accentuation of the digital divide. So digital divide in France is very, it's a very hard problem. So, you know, parents are teleworking, children, children in distance learning together in the same space and the space time. So very difficult. And there is an inequality in the connection and the bandwidth in the territory. So the big city are more covered than the countryside, and we have 9.2 million internet subscription with fiber out of 22.2 million eligible line. And there is a special plan in France, the France Très Haut Débit plan, that will provide a minimum of 30 megabits coverage to all household by 2022. With a minimum of 80% of optical fiber, but it's not quite now. There is a lack of laptop and equipment in France. Modest families have only sometimes one computer per household, so they have to share the time and to manage some time slot for each member of the family. And unfortunately, for the education, the work is priority than the education. So we have a lot of association that has lent a computer to this family, and even the region and the city have offered equipment, laptop, and 4G key to ensure educational continuity. Now let's talk about pedagogical continuity in France. So the first great lockdown, the France was ready. According to the French Minister of Education, everything was ready for the first confinement. So that's
2
on
minutes, Luke. 2 minutes.
Yes, okay, that's on the paper, but that's not it. There is a great association, Solidarité Edtech France, that had built a few days a site which offers a solution freely to the population. So some Batang saw that was an unhealthy advertisement on the back of the crisis, but it's not true. Sometimes they put in danger their business model to help the community. So that's it. I can continue with what does a crisis mean for Edtech. So digital learning is under the spotlight, so a beneficial effect on the industry, and we gain between 3 and 5 years of maturity in the French population regarding this technology. I can continue with a concrete example of mine. The first hard lockdown began in March, so an exponential rise in demands, short deadlines, very urgent need to prevent bankruptcies, but companies has to understand that this is not real digital learning, and they have to elaborate a long-term strategy for their training path. So we help them to do this. Consequences on the Edtech companies. So a majority negative impact for the Edtech. When the market is centered on K-12 and primary and secondary school, there is an explosion in demand for producing content and support for the digital learning transition. In case of the market was long life training. It was amplified by several factors. FNE help. It's it's an help for by the French government for the unemployed people, and it's financed by 100%, and the population gain skills when they are stuck at home. So the company plays the game, and that's very, very great.